The honourable member for Wellington, Halton Hills.
Mr. Speaker, members of the government said earlier today in the House that I had known for 2 years about the specific threat that a PRC diplomat in Toronto was gathering information to target my family. That is false. I'll categorically state again for the record that the defensive briefing of 2 years ago in June of 2021 was general in nature. It did not contain any information about the specific threat that a PRC diplomat in Toronto, Mr. Wei Zhou, was targeting my family. Will the Prime Minister correct the record to stop the spread of this misinformation?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, I want to assure my colleague opposite that we take the concerns that he has expressed and that have been expressed in public with regards to foreign interference and the targeting of himself and his family extremely seriously, which is why we will continue to work with him, provide him with briefings. I would also point out, Mr. Speaker, that earlier today we tabled the 2022 CSIS report, wherein it states, among other things, that CSIS provided briefings to 49 federal parliamentarians, and by working with everybody, we can protect our democratic institutions.
Mr. Speaker, I've just been informed by the National Security Advisor that the CSIS Intelligence Assessment of July 20th, 2021 was sent by CSIS to the relevant departments and to the National Security Advisor in the PCO. This report contained information that I and other MPs were being targeted by the PRC. This contradicts what the Prime Minister said yesterday. He said CSIS made the determination that it wasn't something that needed to be raised to a higher level because it wasn't a significant enough concern. Will the Prime Minister correct the record that this report and information was sent to the departments and to the Privy Council office?
The Honourable Minister of Public Service.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleague for sharing that update with this chamber. I can also assure him that, as the Prime Minister said, and I said earlier this week, that we found out on Monday of this week, which is why we acted very quickly and decisively to reach out directly to the member for Wellington Halton Hills, make sure that he was offered a briefing, had that briefing happen, and we will continue to work with him to address and mitigate any concerns around foreign interference, because every member in this chamber deserves to be able to do their work in representing their constituencies in a manner that is safe and secure.
The Honourable Member for Wellington Halton Hills.
Mr. Speaker, CSIS has been advising the government, the departments, the Privy Council Office, the National Security Advisor, deputy ministers, that foreign agents in Canada, foreign diplomats in Canada are presenting a threat to Canadian MPs in this House of Commons. In fact, the 2022 intelligence report of CSIS today says that these threat actors must be held accountable for their clandestine activities. And we also will continue to inform national security stakeholders and all Canadians about foreign interference. So why is the government not listening to the advice of CSIS and not listening to the advice in the reports that are being distributed here?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, taking concrete action, and in fact, as my colleague, I hope, would know, the Minister for Global Affairs earlier today summoned the Chinese ambassador to ensure that we're clear about any consequences around hostile activities or foreign interference, and that is very much consistent with Canada's strong record in condemning this kind of behaviour. Moreover, we'll continue to work with all parliamentarians to protect the people that work in this chamber so we can uphold our democracy.